This is a highly specialized sort of super crossover called the Levante Trofeo, and it comes from Italian automaker Maserati. It's extremely fast, extremely expensive, and very powerful, and that's all to do with what's under here, the heart and soul of a supercar. It's 590 Ferrari-built horsepower under the hood, and since this is a crossover, not a lightweight two-seater that sits an inch from the road, this is basically a fine Italian V8 that you can enjoy any day of the year. Of course, it does have a price tag to match, but it is a very special thing if you're a fan of the internal combustion engine, because it's one of the best there is. Right on cue with this machine, the bad weather moved in, and I'm glad that it did. You're on board with me in the Levante Trofeo, heading north to Sudbury in February, and we've caught ourselves some weather in the snowbelt. That's Trofeo as in trophy, by the way, the winner of the race. Levante Trofeo is the fastest Levante there is. The big revs and thrust of the little V8 under that vented hood would go to waste on this part of the drive, instead spinning away in the background with little more than a faint hum seeping in through the firewall. No problem with the weather though. Levante Trofeo's all-wheel drive system is up for the job, our tester's on winter tires to maximize the traction available to all systems, and we can even lift and lower the suspension with a tap as road conditions deteriorate and speeds drop and slush boulders on the highway become more likely. 22 below this morning, thoroughly cold. The Levante's been parked for 2 days now. Let's see how this starts in these temperatures without being plugged in. It's 27 below right now. It's very cold. It hasn't been plugged in. Let's see how this starts up on a really cold morning. Here or in the back roads, Levante Trofeo rides fairly nicely. It's pretty quiet, sporty but not overly stiff, and actually there's a good bit of give in those racy shocks on the highway, so while you know you're in something sporty, it's not smashing your spine. And whether it's a snowstorm or a briskly paced drive through the back roads the next day, Levante Trofeo does what you want a crossover to do. Perches you up a bit higher, gives you a bit more clearance and a bit more room and lots of traction. That creates something that's easy and comfortable to drive any day of the year, and that's why people buy so many crossovers, by the way. Now, most of those are sensible and fuel efficient and bought primarily based on need, but some are built for the thrill of overkill, like my new Italian friend here. Now the Maserati's Italian, I'm half Italian too, and that's why I'm a good cook and why I get cold very easily, and I suspect the heated seats in this thing were designed by someone like me because, man, these things are spicy. The engine was supposed to start right after I said that, but that's good enough. All right. The washer fluid fill is a bit fiddly, to put it nicely, but you do get to admire that gorgeous engine like a piece of art while trying not to spill washer fluid all over it. This built by Ferrari 3.8-liter V8 engine is about as small as a V8 gets, and it's twin turbo and it does a fair bit of revs. That gives you the better part of 600 horsepower and 530 pounds of torque, extreme power output that sees this machine sit squarely amongst the fastest crossovers on the road today. And what an engine it is. This is a modern Ferrari-built V8, so this machine inside of the machine, if you will, comes with decades of baked-in experience in motorsport and performance, and it also represents some of the very best work that mankind can do with an internal combustion engine. It's a 32-valve 4-cam unit with some of the most advanced turbocharger management tech on the road. That's all to make it as compact and lightweight as possible, but also immensely efficient at moving gasoline in and horsepower out. It's designed to rev fast, breathe very easily, and build power on a linear wave of thrust across 7,000 revs and 8 forward gears, separated one from the next by millisecond shifting from the 8-speed automatic with the carbon fiber race car shift paddles. The end result of all this being something I figure amounts to the majority of this machine's appeal, the absolute rush of this engine. Listen to this. The soundtrack is beautiful. Advanced boost pressure control means the turbocharged torque just melts into the engine's characteristic high revving power curve. That means no surges, no steps, no lag, just power that continues swelling and pushing like the flame front at the end of an explosion. And at full song, somewhere north of 5,000 revs, the enthusiast driver will feel and hear the engineering and the precision and the calibration of those systems coming to life on the other side of the firewall. And that ignites the grin enthusiasts get when we experience being propelled beautifully down the road. This is one of the most beautiful engines I've ever driven. It's too fast, it's just like it's complete overkill, which is of course pretty awesome, but if you're a hot-blooded enthusiast with the means to be shopping in this universe, I would tell you the way that this engine builds and delivers power just gets you right here. A supercar soundtrack for your winter backroads driving or your daily commute. You won't see many high-end Italian sports cars out on roads like this, but with Levante Trofeo, you get access to the heart and soul of that driving experience with rear seats, cargo space, and all winter ready. So if that 2-seater supercar doesn't quite factor into your lifestyle and locale, well, this is a great alternative. Best of all, it's ready for a road trip in the snow if needed. You control the Maserati Levante Trofeo's driveline and response from these buttons, which select various drive modes. In the normal or ICE modes, that's increased control and efficiency, by the way, smoothness and fuel mileage and traction are automatically maximized, and this makes a pretty laid-back touring machine. A few more clicks for Sport or Corsa modes provokes Levante Trofeo into action, putting the best of what that 590 horsepower V8 can do within striking distance and even making the exhaust louder at the touch of a button. It's a wild beast, but you're the boss. Confident, comfortable cruising, or fire-breathing sounds and thrust. It's as gentle or wild as you like. Thankfully, the wild side doesn't upset the equation too badly. Despite the immense firepower, the ride and steering and even brakes feel more like a touring setup, a little softer and gentler, less hardcore. So think of this one as a high-performance touring machine with a rocket thruster engine, more than a hardcore racer, and you're in the right ballpark. And while you can definitely find a more modern interior or something more spacious for the roughly $170,000 ask for the unit on your screen, the right enthusiast is going to find having access to such a gorgeous power plant on any drive, in any weather, to be worth every penny. And the best part is it's happy to cruise in calm and quiet too if you're driving it gently. Good luck with that. I'm Justin Pritchard.